The last 48 hours have been nothing short of tumultuous. I've never seen so much shit hit a fan in all of my fucking life. And for once, the gamers aren't really on the receiving end. EA is getting all the ire that they deserve for their recent actions and past transgressions. They thought the common gamer was a fool, an idiot, a retard, a schlub, a smendrick, and every other CH word that a Jewish person could think of for the word idiot. As those of you know, if you pre-order Star Wars Battlefront or any EA game, especially the big ones, you get that 3-day access. This was a foolish move by EA because it gave a lot of people the ability to tell everyone else how shit the game was before it even released, completely and utterly derailing the hype train that has kept it afloat for so long. And don't for a moment think that there still aren't people who defend this game, who defend EA, the constant apologists, the paid shills, game changers, etc. There are some people who just, honest to God, either A, don't get it, or B, too stupid to understand, or C, getting paid. At least if you're gonna be a shill, get paid for it. Don't be a shill for free. That's the epitome of dumb. 3 days ago on Reddit, as I spoke about this before briefly in a previous video, I believe the Game Changers, the Reddit poster Boba Fett made it known that it takes 40 hours to unlock a hero. The spreadsheet for Galactic Assault was also added. This Reddit poster put more time and effort and gave a better explanation than the developers themselves. Galactic Assault matches take 11 fucking minutes. You only average 275 credits per match, which, believe it or not, is 125 more credits you got than the beta. That was EA making things better. They gave you a fistful more credits. The average credits per game is 25.4 credits per minute. At first it sounds reasonable, until they tell you that gameplay minutes required to earn a trooper crate is 4,000 credits. That's almost 3 hours of gameplay required to earn a fucking trooper crate. The gameplay minutes required to unlock a hero is 2,395. It takes 60,000 credits to unlock a hero at the time of this Reddit post. So that's 40 hours of gameplay. Basically, the game had so many paywalls up that it was made around a fucking free-to-play mobile game. They made it so strenuous that if you really wanted something and you didn't feel like putting in 40 hours because most people have fucking lives, I had to explain this to Paz. She's like, well, maybe you're working towards something. I'm sitting there like, why don't you go work for EA? Leave it to a casual gamer not to fucking understand the difference between actually earning something in a game and being forced behind a sort of paywall of loot boxes. Please forgive the sounds. I have an annoying puppy running around wild and free. Now, after this Reddit post, it gained a lot of steam. A shit ton of news outlets covered it. You know, the usual Kotaku, WCCF Tech, etc. This led to a game dev chiming in. A game dev by the name of Big Sheen. I still had enough foresight to save some of the screen caps because he made his page private. He also started complaining about death threats. Honestly, if anyone's sending you death threats on Twitter, they're probably not doing shit to you. I'd be more worried about a guy giving me a death threat if he held a gun at me and then said, I'm gonna kill your bitch ass. Then I go, okay, this seems serious. But internet trolls, who the fuck hasn't gotten a death threat on the fucking internet? Lo and behold, you know, you're not supposed to send death threats, you know, try and avoid that. I know you get pissed. I don't know how you get that pissed, you gotta send a death threat. Usually I like to threaten people with physical violence if they live near me. So anyway, someone wrote, ignore challenges which are one-offs. It will take 40 hours to get Luke or Vader in this Reddit post. So as a casual scrub with about 6 hours a week max, I sincerely hope they make some changes. Either way though, still plan on enjoying the game. This is someone who still planned on buying the fucking game, despite all of this shit going on. Big Sheen wrote back, just an FYI, the Reddit article is highly inaccurate. Keep in mind that EA's devs tell you nothing. So this guy named Ian goes, how? He gives more information than anyone on the dev team has. Big Sheen writes, no, he doesn't, not at all. Well then, fucking tell us, you son of a bitch. You know, if you know, say something. He would have been smart if he shut the fuck up. That would have been the damn mood. Oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Then tell us how it really is, since you're on the inside. There is no article. It's just a discussion. Because the loot crates and progression system in EA's Battlefront 2 is not acceptable, the Auto Man says. And Big Sheen, oh, okay. And Battlefront 2 doesn't fit the definition of a pay to win because nearly everything can be unlocked via gameplay. It may take longer, be harder than people prefer, but it's not pay to win. Dude, I don't recall Vader being behind a fucking crazy ass loot box system or 40 fucking hours in the original Battlefront 2, you cocksuckers. All EA had to do was just reskin Battlefront 2, the original. They could have took the whole game and remastered it. They would have been heroes. People would have changed their mind about EA on that alone. Not me though, because I don't forgive or forget. Get out of here, you fat fuck. Sorry, my cat jumped on the table. He's a fat bastard. That's all EA had to do. But no, EA didn't. Do you know why? Because the big guys on top, the CEOs, the shareholders, the investors, they just smelled all the money they could make off of loot boxes, because pretty much Overwatch made loot boxes what they are today. Yes, I know there are games that had loot boxes before motherfucking Overwatch, but Overwatch was such a commercial motherfucking success, it changed the game. And everyone looked and then finally said, here's a way to make a lot of easy money. Look how much Blizzard and Activision are making. We gotta do this too. Money, 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 motherfucker. Big Sheen then says we're incredibly active with the community on many social media platforms. Basically motherfuckers that kiss your ass, Sheen. Come on, dude. EA only really gives a fuck about all of these AAA developers, and companies only really talk to the big people. Only the people like Angry Joe get some sort of fucking voice. And that guy is a shill. I'm sorry. If you like Joe, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. You don't see the shillest nature of this motherfucker. And Joe isn't gonna hold anybody's feet to the grindstone. Motherfucker sitting there talking about corporate shills for EA, then turns around and puts up a tweet. Hey guys, you wanna watch my stream where I unbox a fucking $1,200 graphics card that's Star Wars related for Star Wars Battlefront 2 from Nvidia, and I'll give one away? Hashtag sponsorship? What the fuck? Fuck you, Gundam, for saying that about Joe. He's a hero. Yeah, he's a hero. Like, I don't like hookers and fucking blow. Yeah, I said it. We interact with fans, answer questions, and help when we can. Saying we're tight-lipped is just blatantly false. I don't know what the fuck. This led to this guy's asshole getting reamed in by the community. And there's one thing I know about the internet community. They love giving death threats. First, Big Sheen put out a tweet to let everyone know he's contacting the police on everyone who death threatened him. He's very upset. He's worried about his life and his family and everything. I think he's overreacting. How many people get death threats a day on the internet? But for real, you know, he did that before he blocked all of his tweets. So now you have to be a confirmed follower of his to see his tweets. And frankly, who gives a fuck? Who the fuck wants to know what this motherfucker has to say? Hey, granted, I understand he's just a dev. He's at the bottom of the barrel. That's why you don't need to send him death threats. Alright, don't bother with him. He's just a worker ant. That's like somebody being upset with the price at fucking Target and you work there, and then they come to the stock boy and death threat the fucking stock boy for the prices Target set. This motherfucker don't do shit but stock shit. Fuck you, Gregory! This coupon said 30% off. You're a dead man. You're a fucking dead man, Gregory. Hey dude, I just stock shit here, man. Except Gregory would have to get the guy's face first and start complaining about how great Target is. So maybe there are holes in my logic. Now, I'm trying to keep my timelines together because so much shit happened in the past 24 hours, man. I just don't. Fuck, it's hard. Because I made the mistake of going to sleep. And all this shit started hitting the fan while I was editing another video, then I had to go to bed. Big Sheen then says on November 13, 2017, yesterday, so I'm up to 7 death threats. 1,600 individual personal attacks now. And yes, for legal reasons, I am keeping track. And why, you might ask? Because of an unpopular feature in the game. And there's a whole bunch of extra shit going on here between Big Sheen and fighting with people. He has a problem of keeping his mouth fucking shut, honestly. Now, I'm not saying this is like, you know, attack the guy, but really, if you are sick of having death threats, you're sick of dealing with internet trolls, why would you fight with them continuously? And why would you have a tag like Big Sheen? You don't seem too big to me now. You seem kind of like a bitch. I mean, once again, I'm not condoning the, like, threat levels, but you can't call yourself Big Sheen and not take a few death threats. 7? I thought this motherfucker had thousands. It's just 7. And 1,600 individual personal attacks. So 1,600 people probably called this motherfucker a cuck, and he finally couldn't take it. And then it moves on to the next bit of Tom douchery, as I like to call it. Star Wars Battlefront 2's community manager calls worried fans armchair developers.
You know what? Fuck you!
This is the backtrack of the century. The guy comes out and shits in the face of the people who are interested in this game and calls them armchair devs. He receives the obvious backlash that you would get from this. Then he starts damage controlling like a motherfucker, telling people they take tweets out of context. That's the same thing PewDiePie fans said when he got caught using the N-word. You took it out of context. Get the fuck out of here. And funny Sunday conversations. I did Twitter wrong today. I'm logging off. My tweets earlier had nothing to do with the community remarks or topic were around Star Wars Battlefront 2. Yeah, you just happened to be the Star Wars Battlefront community manager and called everybody an Armchair developer right in the light of 24 hours earlier, a dude putting out a fucking chart showing the progression system, showing how shitty the credits are in the motherfucking game, showing how much time and effort it would take someone to fucking unlock shit. Like literally, for you to play Star Wars Battlefront and get everything you wanted without using microtransactions, you'd have to have no fucking life. You'd have to eat shit and breathe Star Wars Battlefront. Even the most hardcore Twitch streamers couldn't pull this one off. Motherfuckers would be dropping dead from like 48-hour Twitch streams, unlocking Darth Vader, Star Wars Battlefront, hashtag help me, I'm dying. Oh my god, he's the worst son of a bitch that has ever lived. I hate him. I see why nobody subscribes to his channel. I removed those tweets on hordes of angry gamers being told I was speaking about them were upset. I get that, but someone misinterpreted my tweet. I again apologize for that, but it was not my intent. Trust me, I am at bat for this community and game franchise I love. That's a huge step back. Forgive me that I'm reading this kind of ridiculously. My voice is hoarse as fuck. So at least this dev had enough foresight to apologize, even though, you know, well, I don't know what anybody expects. The dude's background is a picture of probably his fucking 2017 Camaro, or is that the Charger? Whatever. I don't know what you expect from a guy like that. And he wears his hat backwards, so yeah. You know, you gotta expect something douchey from someone like that. This is a guy who would be calling you a faggot while you walk down the street going to the bus stop, had he not become an EA dev. So, as this happened, EA decided to attempt to appease the masses. EA cut the amounts of credits required to unlock top Star Wars Battlefront 2 heroes by 75% after mass fan outcries. This is all in a 24-hour fucking time span, dude. Shit was hitting the fan right and left. There's a big bunch of bullshit from EA DICE. What the hell is it? Making games great come from regular tuning is one example. Today we're making a substantial change based on what we've seen during the Play First trial. There's been a lot of discussions around the amount of in-game credits at the time it takes to unlock some of our heroes, especially Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader. Actually, I had it wrong. This is what happened. So the next bit of hot fucking mess was Boogie29888. Obviously, he bought Star Wars Battlefront and he's playing arcade mode. And there was a cap on how many coins you can get in arcade mode. Like literally, you could only get so many credits for so long before you were locked out for 3 hours. What type of shit is this? I have no words. But then again, Jim Sterling summarized it best when he put this together.
We know what Star Wars Battlefront 2 was intended to be. We know it's been inspired by the fucking mobile market, because if you dare to play arcade mode for too long, they put a cap on the amount of credits you can earn, making you wait several hours before you can actually get rewarded for playing arcade mode again. Where did they get that idea from? Oh, I remember, EA is the one that published that fucking Dungeon Keeper mobile game that was full of it. One of those free-to-wait experiences. By all accounts, Star Wars Battlefront 2 is a mobile game in a AAA game's clothing. But hey, at least EA stocks went down a little bit.
Then extra shit hit the fan. It's a reoccurring theme. It's just never ending. Repeated crap. Like EA was in full Zeppelin crashing to the earth mode. Everything went to fuck. These bastards were riding so high on the hype train that was Star Wars Battlefront 2 that they somehow didn't realize that they were Icarus and they flew too close to the microtransactions sun and burned their wings and fell to the fucking earth. The Reddit poster MBM Maverick wrote this: seriously, I paid $80 to have Darth Vader locked. As we said before, the long fucking haul of 40-hour gaming. EA then moves on to actually reply to this. EA community team. This is sheer brilliance. The intention to provide players with a sense of pride and accomplishment for unlocking different heroes. This is actually the sort of bullshit you hear from all sorts of developers when they fuck you over in a game. Like Jeff Kaplan said the same thing in Overwatch with, what was it, Season 5 and Season 6, where they purposefully reduced your SR rating by 200 points so you got the joy of climbing your way back out. Yeah, you finally get out of ELO hell, and these assholes throw you right back in the shit. It's like getting your papers to leave Vietnam and then Richard Nixon meets you at the helicopter and kicks you right in the fucking face and you fall back in the goddamn jungle. As for costs, we selected initial values based upon data from the open beta and other adjustments made to milestone rewards before launch. Among other things, we're looking at average per player credit earn rates on a daily basis, and we'll be making constant adjustments to ensure that players have challenges that are compelling, rewarding, and of course, attainable via gameplay. We appreciate the candid feedback and the passion the community has put forth around the current topics here on Reddit, our forums, and across numerous social media outlets. Our team will continue to make changes and monitor community feedback to update everyone as soon and as often as possible. You know what's really funny? Not only is this condescending as fuck, not only does this treat you like some sort of fucking moron, not only does it treat you as if you don't matter because they assumed it was one guy bitching, this is the same sort of shit I get from like congressmen, governors, and politicians locally when I contact them about laws I think are kind of BS. But I don't fire off at the mouth like I do on YouTube. I actually give eloquent, clear, and precise points of concern, to which they send you this sort of shit, treating you like you don't fucking matter and you're fucking douchebag. I'm especially put off by this on multiple levels. Now the beauty here is in all of their arrogance, they didn't see this catching the hell it caught. It's currently at 671,000 negative points, and it's only been up 24 fucking hours. It is the most downvoted Reddit post ever. In a way, it's beautifully amazing. It's poetic justice.
Dear God, it's beautiful.
It's proof that the community is somewhat alive. There are still enough people who see the writing on the wall and understand that these companies don't give a shit. There are more people waking up to the fucking shit snack on their table. In a matter of time, give it a few years, because this practice is going to turn the entire community against them. Even the most die-hard console gamers will one day wake up and go, these guys are just out to get as much money from me as possible. They want more for less. That's the key point here. They want more money from you for fucking less. They're taking away features that were once free in the game and putting it behind a paywall. The industry is a bloated, corpulent pig, stuffing itself on endless amounts of revenue. After this shitstorm hit, it then led to EA trying to make some sort of amends. This shows how shitty the whole thing was in the first place. The fact that they could cut everything by 75% proves that it didn't need to be that high. In fact, it doesn't need there to begin with. But this game was built with the sole purpose of microtransactions. The foundation is microtransactions. The whole point of this game is making as much money as possible, for as long as possible. Because as I said before, the industry is now turning towards the microtransaction pay plan. You put out a game and you keep making money from it years after its release. Grand Theft Auto Online is the perfect example. It's sort of the architect. And loot boxes are also in the mix. Overwatch's loot box system honestly is genius because they have become a $1 billion franchise in less than a year of being out. $1 billion, and it's only gonna grow because all they have to do is keep putting out little events and skins, and people will pay. People will fucking pay because they've developed a whole sort of society around it, if you will. Believe it or not, in Overwatch, there are lobbies for role play. There are people living out Overwatch fantasies. Blizzard is going to make billions of dollars from Overwatch. And as soon as the movies start happening, forget it, dude. It's going to be a nightmare. But that's another story. DICE puts up a pretty lackluster and empty apology about the prices of everything. They've dropped all the hero prices by 75%. So Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker are no longer 60,000 credits, they're 15. Emperor Palpatine and Chewbacca are 10. Eden is 5. I don't even know who the fuck that is. The House of Cards is falling, but only on EA. And unfortunately, I hate to say this, it won't last long. After this recent turn of events, I know there's a lot of them, Twitter then became full of hashtag Star Wars Battlefront 2 tweets, There were also a lot of hashtag gambling tweets where people were specifically tagging Disney and accusing Disney of supporting a game that turns children on to gambling. EA is having a political nightmare, the likes of which they will never recover from. Only in a PR standpoint, EA will still make money. They will still make hand over fist money because people forget. In 2 years, people will forget this. The only people who keep talking about it are guys like me, and a whole bunch of other people sit there and tell me to shut the fuck up about it. It's in the past. Electronic Arts' sharp drop after Wall Street raises concerns over Star Wars Battlefront's game sales. And this was a catastrophe for... It's not even that big of a drop, it looks like to me. Fuck it, this is pointless. This isn't the big hit I thought it would be for EA. And finally, there was a bit of mass hysteria within the past 24 hours. But this information was false. Now, there are a lot of people who are running around and saying that EA took away the ability to cancel your pre-order. So a lot of people freaked out. There were a lot of Reddit posts. There were a couple of news outlets that covered it. But it turns out that in all actuality, you can't cancel a pre-order. This happened a couple years ago. There were a couple Reddit posts about it. I didn't bother hunting them down. But point being, if you have a pre-order for Star Wars Battlefront and you're freaking out because you want to get rid of it, don't worry about it. You can get rid of it later. Or you can just hit a helpea.com refund link to get it all squared away. It's a bit more crap than I think anyone would want to go through to get rid of a pre-order. Like, you should just be able to cancel your pre-order right there like any other website. I find it odd that EA doesn't give you the ability to cancel pre-orders. So I guess you'll either have to wait till the game releases or go to helpea. Blah 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 pre-order garbage. And honestly, EA's websites are so shit, it's not funny. Good luck getting it all set up. Zill lost his account. It's taken EA weeks to do absolutely nothing about it. And in closing, as this has gone on far too long, this is a small win. It's a battle, really. Reddit won a battle, but we haven't won the war. The war is still raging on. The war against microtransactions, against corporate greed, loot boxes, corporate shills, and people who are just so into drinking the Kool-Aid they can't see that they're being manipulated, that they're being used, and that this form of entertainment is more exploitative than anything else. All I can say is stay vigilant and know that these companies and corporations are not your friends. Given enough time, given enough success, they will turn on you. They will begin to not see you as a consumer, but as a source of income, revenue. You are a faceless entity on a graph that tells them statistics about your spending habits and what you're interested in and what you possibly have a proclivity for. That's all you are to them. And to the shareholders, you're nothing more than sheep to be sheared so that your lovely coat can make wonderful cotton wool sweaters that they can make absorbent amounts of money on. Except the cotton wool sweater is your wallet. I honestly don't know what I could say that hasn't already been said, other than don't buy the hype. Don't believe the hype. Don't fall a victim to trends. Don't let a trailer sway you so easily. Take time to look deeper, delve deeper. Don't follow Twitch streamers either. You can watch their stuff and enjoy them, but don't believe for a hot minute, especially if they're sponsored, that they genuinely love this game that much. Because they're sponsored and they call themselves ambassadors of a company and or game series, they're paid. They're bought and paid for. As Bill Hicks said, you're just another whore at the corporate capitalist gangbang. And on that note, I should get out of here because I don't feel this is the greatest work I've ever done. So please forgive me because the timeline was so huge and vast, I got lost in the sauce, as they say. You don't have to rate, comment, subscribe this. You don't have to follow me. But if you so choose to, every one of you that follows me makes my voice louder in an industry full of paid shills and people unable to fight for something or a cause they believe in.